Alright, the next thing we want to do is we want to carve the folk art man. Now, he will sit next to the woman on the little bench, and I have cut out a profile here of a sitting person. Now, I want his head to be turned toward the woman, so now I could carve it that way, but it is so much easier and so much better to simply cut the head out separately and then position the head like this, in other words, or up in here, this area, in other words. Okay? So, what I'm going to do, first thing we're going to do is we are going to, so this be a little bit different. I know on the hobo, a long time ago, I carved the head separate. And on this one, we will also carve the head separate. But let's work on the body first, okay? Now, the first thing I would do is just sort of start separating these legs a little bit. Just give you a general idea of where we are, just sort of. Now this is, the woman was 2 inches thick. This is 2¼ inches thick. Let's just bring this down a little bit where our feet are, where our man's going to be sitting. Alright, now we're going to have to do a little drawing here, because we're going to do a little bit something a little bit different, okay? We're going to actually, in a matter of speaking, well, I'll tell you what we're going to do. Well, first of all, let's go ahead and just shape just a little bit, get him in a shape position. And the arms are actually going to come also like the woman in a lot of ways down instead of a center. Now, let me explain what's going to happen here. This arm is going to come down his side and then come, I'm sorry, let me draw this. It's going to come down his side and then come over, or and sort of come across like that. In other words, it's going to be like this, okay? And come across like this. All right? Where the arm will be something like this, okay? And the other arm will come down and come across, and it will be something similar to this, in other words, but it's going to overlap on this hand like this, where it's going to be something similar to that. See what I'm saying? Okay. Where what you will have is you will have the arms coming down and overlapping on one another like this and like that. Okay? Well, the arms will actually overlap on one another. So, as you draw this, we're going to kind of draw it like that as it comes down, and then it will come across and overlap like this. Okay? Now, what I want to do is I want to come down here and I want to go ahead and kind of establish just a little bit what we're doing here, just like I did with the lady. Kind of bring, since the head is not here, we don't have to worry about that right at the moment. And I'm just going to kind of bring this across like this. All I'm doing is getting what's called my sight lines going. And then we can remove some wood from here. But actually the arm is going to overlap into this one, okay? And this one will do the same thing. So I'm going to put this down here like this and come up with my arm like that. Just to give kind of a different view or a different way of doing something, where it looks like he's sitting. Now, one of the things about taking and doing the head separate is you have to get the head lined up. And a lot of times what I'll do is I'll go ahead and do the body. So when I do the head, it will have sort of a way of looking at, in other words, where I can sort of proportion the head a little bit. Alright, I'm also going to come up here and I'm going to also start just taking a little wood out in here. Okay? Not a whole lot, but a little bit of wood like that. See? Where it makes it look like that. I'm sorry, I don't want to get away from the camera here. Sometimes I have to look and kind of get a general idea of where I'm at. Okay, just like that. Give me just an idea of where I'm at. Okay, now I can kind of shape just a little bit. Let me bring this up here and go ahead and establish where my arm is. Actually, a lot of people carve figures without the head and just add the head on later. They like that. They like the way that it's done. I don't always do that. I usually carve the head as a part of the body. It doesn't really matter how you do it. It's the finished product that matters. See? And as you look at this, and as this hand overlaps this hand, of course, this hand will fit more inside of this hand. Okay? All right. See that? Okay, now let's continue to shape a little bit. I wanted to draw those so that we could kind of get a general idea of where things go. Okay? Okay. All right. But get them established and then slowly then you can bring the arms and shape them the way that you want them to be. Not a whole lot different from the lady, but in just a little bit different format, as we might say. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and cut into these areas here. Go ahead and remove a little bit of wood in that area. That's always an area that is a little bit tougher to remove wood from. Okay, see that? Let's go ahead, continue this. And where the hand comes in here, we're going to go ahead and bring that down. Go ahead and carve, cut that in there, and join this hand like this. Take away this right here. See that? And then we just remove a little bit of wood in here. There we go. Uh-oh, lost my pencil. Remove some wood. And there. Whoops. Okay. Now let's look at it. And we will get it.